அட போச்சே
மச்சே.
Fuck. Every fucking week.
Well,
TikTokல நிறைய பேர் சொல்லியிருக்காங்க நான் பார்க்க தூக்கமா இருக்கேன்னு.
இப்பதான் எந்திரிச்சு வந்தான்.
No. அந்த காமெண்ட் போட்டீங்களே நான் இந்த கேமரா பார்க்க தூக்கமா இருக்கேன்னு, அது உண்மை, எல்லாரும் சொல்கிறது தான். ஏன்னா அப்பப்போ நம்ம ரெக்கார்ட் பண்ணும்போது இந்த ஒரு நாள் ஃபுல்லாக வேலை முடிச்சுட்டு ராத்திரி நேரமாக வந்து ரெக்கார்ட் பண்ணுவோம். நார்மலாகவே மூஞ்சி பார்க்க வந்து பேரஞ்ச மாதிரி இருக்கும். ஸோ இட்ஸ் ஒரு 9-10 hour ஒர்க் டே ஃபேக்டர் பண்ணிவிட்டு உள்ளே பண்ணணும்னா மூஞ்சி கொஞ்சம் கன்றாவியாக தான் இருக்கும். ப்ளீஸ் கொஞ்சம் மேனேஜ் பண்ணுங்களேன்.
அதை விட கன்றாவியாக இருக்கும்.
வாட்?
Hey, it's called An Alaganda. So, episode. இதோட எபிசோட்.
ஸோ இந்த ஒயிட் கேமராவில் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா இங்கே ஒரு கெஸ்ட் இருக்கார்.
ஒயிட் அண்ட் ஒயிட் போட்டு.
ஸோ இவரோட பேர் இஸ் Nilesh. ஸோ எனக்கு இவரை வந்து I've known him since secondary school and he's involved in the music scene in Singapore. And the reason why I suggested the idea of Nilesh getting நம்ம ஷோவில் ஒரு guest is because I've been aware of அவரோட passion for music since that age. நிறைய பேருக்கு வந்து they discover their passions at a later age or maybe like 20s or whatever. சில பேருக்கு தான், ஒரு குறிப்பிட்ட பேருக்கு தான் ஒரு சிறு வயசுலேயே இது தெரியும். And நம்ம சிங்கப்பூர் கான்டெக்ட்ல இஸ் வெரி வெரி சேலஞ்சிங் டு actually go pursue arts as a career. Because number generation when you're trying to make a career at a young age, if you tell, I want to be an actor, I want to be in music, I want to be this and that in the art scene, I want to be a stage actor, right? Parents சொல்லுவாங்க அதெல்லாம் காசு கிடைக்காது, போய் உருப்படியாக படிச்சுட்டு ஒரு உருப்படியான வேலையை தேடு. அதுதான் stereotypical dialogue that you'll get. And it's regardless, as ஒரு like a somewhat like a natural culture for our generation. And Nilesh, I know his story. I've been in contact with him since secondary school, since after we left secondary school. அவர் வந்து he has been pursuing music. Even when he had a day job, he figured out a way to go get some gigs, get some exposure in the industry. And over time, அவரோட உழைப்பால, அவரோட passion-ஆல, he actually managed to make some connections and develop a proper career out of it. And he has good national exposure now and he's involved in various projects. So the whole point that we want people to take away from this episode is that உங்களுக்கு ஒரு கனவு இருந்தா, regardless of social context, cultural context, if you guys are willing to find a way and are willing to put in the work, there is something for you. And Nilesh, people like Nilesh from நம்மளோட generation are paving the way for the future generations. That's what I believe.
Okay, so I've been in the industry professionally, I would say, since 2017. So that's about, what's that? Do the maths. 6 years. Yeah, it's about 6 years. And it has been a journey lah. It's been a very long and tiring journey, right? Because we are all getting older, you know. Not getting any younger. But it's been a very healthy journey, I would say, for the past few years. Since the time that I started, okay, don't mind me, I'm going to use we a lot. Because I'm involved with a lot of projects, that's one, and also a lot of bands, and a lot of friends groups lah. So I'm going to refer to myself as we a lot, because it's not a single thing lah. It's not a singular effort lah. Okay, so I guess since we started, right, like back in 2017, it was all very small projects. You got to build from the bottom lah, I would say. So it started with very, very small projects whereby it's just me, maybe another friend, and we slowly started building up. Back then there was like at that point of time there was a group of friends that I used to work with, and then after that it transcended. There was another group of friends that I work with, and it just evolves over time on based on whatever that you're doing. And I think that one is it's for every industry, you know. You just keep evolving with the people who are around you. And so fast forward to like right now, right? So me and my team, we just ended our stint at Vasantham it's been a month and a half, I would say. So there was a program there that we did. It's called Vasantham Star. We ended that project, and now we're trying out something new. I don't know whether it's the first of its kind. I don't know how. I don't know whether it is. I can't say that it is. But what we are doing is basically just having our own studio space. So எங்க ஸ்டுடியோ வந்து இவங்க ஸ்டுடியோ வந்து பக்கத்துல தான் இருக்கு. It's nearby and it's a big space as well. So what we do is we host our own shows. Alright, we host our own small scale shows for maybe groups of 30 to 40 packs. And our studio வந்து அந்த சைஸ்ல தான் இருக்கு. Right, it only can hold that much of people. So we are doing a trial, just started in the month of May. Yesterday, Wednesday was our third week. So the upcoming Wednesday would be our fourth week of the trial. So trial idukena we just trying to spread the word to the general public, mainly friends and families, and see whether the idea works out or not. Yena வந்து what I've noticed as a performer over the years, right, is we have performed in venues, bars, clubs, nightclubs, and birthdays, all sorts of events, right? And instead of doing that consistently, it was fun while we were younger. Like what I mentioned just now. Namakkulam vayasairuchu. Just to stay in a club, stay in a bar, and the lifestyle is very nice. It's very fun, exciting. But after a while, you just gotta do something else lah. If not, you're stuck in that circle. So with that in mind, my team and I, we decided to try out something. Namakku oru studio space irukku. Namakku vandu and the equipments, audio equipments, and the piano, guitar, drums ellame irukku. Okkaradhukku vandu edam irukku. So why not we try and use this space as a venue for holding shows. So with that idea, since Vasantham Star just ended, I decided to call a few of my friends who are the contestants inside to, why not? Let's just trial it out. Open this idea to your friends, to your families, to your, whoever is on your social media, and see whether the general public are interested to come for this kind of shows. Because the only place that you can get live Tamil music in Singapore would probably be places like bars, clubs. There's only two, right? Or else, you watch TV and then you watch Vasantham and something like that, right? But here is a venue that anyone, it's open to the public, it's free of charge. Anyone can just come on a Wednesday night after work hours to just sit down, enjoy like an hour of music and go back home. Right. Yeah, so that was the idea.
Okay, so now you mentioned that like the Senji, like you're a month into it. So what's the response been like so far?
Okay, so like I said, studio வந்து max வந்து ஒரு 40, right? 40 இல்லனா ஒரு 50. Because அதுக்கு வந்து like usually when you come to a studio, right? It's not like a bar or a club, right? That's the number one thing. That means அங்க வந்து தண்ணி இருக்காது,
இல்ல வெறும் தண்ணி தானே பச்சை தண்ணி
அந்த தண்ணி
not the கருப்பு தண்ணி
பேண்டா மாட்டே வந்து பண்டல்ஸா வந்து ஸ்ப்ரைட் கோக்லாம் இருக்கும். Okay, that's the kind of stuff that you'll have, right? Seating space also.
Okay.
It's a music studio. That means we're not going to have like, sturdy chairs, or like rows of seats, to watch. நமக்கு உள்ளது வந்து ஒரு சோஃபா, ஒரு maybe ஒரு 10-12 stools, and then everybody else, if there's no space to sit down, you can sit on the carpet floors, right? And just chill and enjoy, right? Because it's not a ticketed performance, So that is one. Wait, what's the question again? I think I diverted and went somewhere else.
It's on point.
Just talk, bro.
Wait, what's the question again, Mike?
What's the response like?
Yes. Okay, so when we started it, right, we only used Instagram as our mode of
marketing.
Our mode of marketing, right? And also trying out like Google Forms, for example, just to get sign whether people sign ups, people to come in and out. And so we are 3 weeks in, right? We are 3 weeks in. So for the first week, we had a let's say we had the performer, right? And I think it started at a very humble. There was 14 packs who appeared at the show, right? So so what I did was for all the shows, export it on Excel so that we can see the progress of the success rate. Who signed up, who showed up, that kind of thing. So we started our first episode with 14 packs who appeared, right? And our third episode, which was 2 days ago, it was up to 28 packs.
Oh, okay.
And next week, we're probably looking at a bigger size. And so this is just from one musician, which is myself, I play the piano, and one vocalist or singer who is the contestant of Vasantham Star, right? And so this idea is still at its
infancy stage.
Infant, right? It's complete infant because nobody probably have heard of it. I don't believe, even for myself, I have never been to a place to sit down and watch some Tamil music happening in Singapore. English, yes, definitely. Our Malay counterparts, yes, they also have been doing great. Chinese people as well, they have venues in Singapore to host, like live Chinese music. But for Indian people, we don't have such, we don't...
platform.
The platform, yeah. ஒரு platform, ஒரு இடம், that we don't have that because I'm not gonna, let's just keep the reasons aside, but it doesn't happen, right? So because this is the first of its kind, like I said, it's a trial. Where it goes, we might never know, but it's just I've started it and we just got to see where it goes, maybe in the next 2 months, the next 3 months, and see what can be made more of it.
Okay.
So நீங்க ஒரு வார்த்தை சொன்னீங்க, நீங்க ஆன்சர் பண்ணும்போது ஐ காட் மை அட்டென்ஷன். இதை ஒரு எபிசோட்னு டிஸ்கிரைப் பண்ணீங்க. இது வந்து ஒரு ஷோ, ஒரு இவெண்ட்னு சொல்லாமல் ஒரு எபிசோட்னு டிஸ்கிரைப் பண்ணீங்க. ஸோ டு யூ சி லைக் அ ட்ரெஜெக்டரி? இது வந்து இட்ஸ் லைக் is it like a radio show? Is it like a event and that?
Okay. Yes. So thanks for saying that. There is a plot. Okay. Which we are thinking about as well. First and foremost, right? Why we are doing this as well? I've noticed, or at least me and my team, we have noticed from years of performing for TV or for outside, that especially when it comes to Tamil music, no one really does it. No one really wants to do it, especially. And the number of musicians that we have in the Tamil industry, like our own people, is getting lesser and lesser as the years go by.
Okay.
Right? And like we are already at the age where I think we have done so much of things in our prime. Right? Now is I won't say the late back, but this is the 30 to 40 is the year that you still, give it one more last push. Yeah. And then 40 and above, you just like chill and look at the what would you call it? Reap the rewards, And I would say it's kind of frightening to see very little people who are interested in music nowadays. What we are trying to do is maybe with our small little efforts, maybe encourage people to get excited about music. You don't only have to learn music to perform on TV. You don't have to learn music to be a superstar. You can also learn music for your own peace of mind. Like some people, they have their own passions. Their own. They like to do this, that. Yeah. Like for our Mr. Yus over here, ladies look at him, he's damn strong, big. Sorry, not ladies, lady. ஒரு lady.
மாட்டிட்டீங்களா bro?
Topic diverse.
So passion, right? Not only doing music for the monetary sake, but also doing music because of the passion. You like it. It's a nice escape to get to. And so with our small little efforts, maybe there is a chance that the younger generation might look to it and like, okay, this is a great idea. Maybe we can do something better. right? And that would be nice, right? Like to watch your younger generations coming up, right? I would say there wasn't really much avenues for us when we were growing up.
Yeah.
So ours was like whatever opportunity you have, just take it and blast it, right? You will never know what comes out of it. So we had to just blast. And now maybe we are in the era of passing it on, or maybe like what do you call that? Like
Passing on the
motivating
passing the
them,
baton, okay.
passing the torch, motivating people to or motivating the younger people to get some ideas, do some things.
அதுக்கு நீங்க இப்ப விதை விளைக்கிறீங்க, planting the seeds
in our own words, I would say.
Yeah.
In our own way.
So one thing Nilesh was saying வந்து the musicians, Tamil musicians வந்து குறைவா வருதுன்னு சொன்னீங்க.
ஆமா.
Future பத்தி I want to touch upon maybe a bit later, but I want to touch upon this, your past, which you're younger, when you're younger. சின்ன வயசாக இருந்தப்ப நீங்கள் வந்து மியூசிக் பண்ணணுங்கிற அந்த பேஷன், அந்த வெறி எதனால இருந்துச்சு? லைக் it's not common in Singapore, like growing up, like you were just now you said, I don't want, I want to be a musician, but people are going to come and say like இல்லை மியூசிக் வந்து காசு போடாது, சோறு போடாது அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. ஸோ எதனால மியூசிக்? How did the passion formulate for you?
Okay, so okay, wait, let me think about it. Okay, okay, wanting to perform or play music has actually never been a part of me, right?
Okay.
As all kids, right? I think when I was young, all I wanted to do was to be a fireman or an astronaut or something. Every small kid's desire. I don't think there was ever a time where I wanted to be a performer, a musician, or stand on stage. Maybe when I was growing up, right? So, okay. So one thing that I would say is from my background, right? Let's see, my parents are very avid church goers. So they always we will always be in church, and my families used to have gatherings, almost every Sunday, right? And it was very music driven, right? Like to sing songs, So like I think any kid actually, when you listen to music, your first thought would be like, play on the table, which is what we all did when we were in secondary school. I got scolded a few times because of that. Just drumming on the table, that is where it starts from, right? As a kid, you start drumming and then, okay, no, this is cool, this is nice. And we started from there. We have small little instruments back at that time, like bongos. And like tambourines, two very iconic instruments that you will probably see when you go for Panguni or Taipusa. People will be playing like some drums, and these are the two main, I would say, instruments that you will see. So it started from them. I would think, singing, and so what happened when I went to primary school, right? This is where it started. I have an older sister. Had வந்து தப்பாயிடும். So I have an older sister, and she was already in concert band at that time.
Okay.
So when I went to primary school, my mother thought that it will be best to put the younger brother in the same CCA. For supervision.
ரொம்ப கதை ரொம்ப hits me home,
So I went in, right, concert band, and it was then, right? So in primary school until secondary school, I was in concert band for like I think 9 to 10 years of my life. And what they did was it just grew, right? It grew me as a musician. But even until I ended secondary school, I still never saw myself as a performer. I never saw myself as I'm going to be on stage someday, right? And I think it's like what we talked about as well. There's always that stigma, and back then I would say it's stronger.
Yeah, much worse.
Much stronger.
Yeah.
Anything to do which is out of the path of education, right? That means you're wrong, and that means it will never happen.
Yeah.
Right. So my parents were not against it, right? They, whenever I went to, I'm saying like, hey mom, I'm going to go jamming, or mom, I'm going to this person's house to play some music. There was never a no, right? There was never a no. But what to do after that? Like, so because I think back then, maybe I was definitely, I would say I'm not educated that there is a path for music in Singapore. In the LaSalle, Andamari, all these schools, I didn't even know they existed, right? So what to do? Primary school mudichi, secondary school. Secondary school mudichi, once you get your O levels, either you go to poly or you go to university or you go to ITE, right? Depending on your scores. And then adu mudinji, either you go to JC or for us guys, we go to army, right? But I never knew that there were art school in Singapore that you can go in. And I'm 100% sure if I told my mom that, Ma, after secondary school, I'm going to go arts, finish. I'll call you, right? I say, Mike, you're across the road, I come and stay in your house.
Oh yeah, for some context, we stay opposite each other.
So, that's one of the things, right? I never knew about it. And I think it was only like maybe second year of poly, then like, oh wow, there's a school called LaSalle where you can actually go and study music. But by then, we are knee deep in our poly education already.
Right.
Like, okay, just carry it on. But hindsight, whatever I studied in poly, I'm not applying now. So,
it is just extra knowledge,
அது சொல்லலாம். நான் கெமிஸ்ட்ரி படிச்சேன், மண்டையில ஒண்ணுமே இல்ல.
நான் மட்டும் தான் படிச்சதை பயன்படுத்துறேன். I studied media.
In secondary school?
A bit in secondary school.
You got media in secondary school?
The theatre lah.
நான் வந்தா டிராமா கிளப்ல அது மீடியா சரி பேசு மைக்.
Drama club, bro.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh man. We didn't know, that there was such. And we just carried on with life. So went into after secondary school, poly. So I was in Singapore Poly, and the good thing was Singapore Poly actually had a very interesting thing whereby they actually supported musicians and they supported music programs. Yours is also from Singapore Poly.
Yeah. I went to you were performing the Strokes, right, or something?
Battle of the Bands, Mike. Battle of the Bands.
This was auditorium.
Yes, correct.
MIT, right?
Correct.
It's our friends alla vandirudom. Kumaresh, Mark.
Correct.
Shout out to you guys. Yeah, we all came to see your performance. It was in the afternoon.
Yeah, correct. This was when we were in year 2 actually. Yeah. It's really interesting because it wasn't so like what do you call it? They didn't classify it as only this school can do it. In poly there was various schools.
I mean, I was from the arts one.
Yeah. And our school of engineering, you don't expect a bunch of engineering students to do something like this. You will definitely expect the art students, to be more involved, to do more involved in stuff. But they opened it up to anybody who is a student of Singapore Poly. And so me and my friends who were all from the engineering department, we decided, okay, just go lah, just go and give it a try. And we went, right? It was a very interesting experience. So there was Battle of the Bands. They used to have it in Singapore Poly like 10 years ago, back then. And then they restarted the competition. And I don't know whether it's still going on now, but it was like really ons at that time.
Yeah, it was nice.
Really nice, man. And I think that was my first experience as being on stage and being a performer, right? And I think I would say it was exciting, to like from the stage you look around and you don't see people that you don't know. You see your friends, you see your family, you see your classmates who are there to support you. That was an awesome feeling, like and I think that same feeling carries on to this day, right? Because like whatever projects that I do, I look around me, I also still see my friends, my family, my old classmates, and everybody's there still supporting like how they did 10 years ago, 20 years ago. It's very interesting to see that. So it started from there by Battle of the Bands, right? And poly ended, and then we came to army. And I think this was one change which happened, which I decided to, maybe it's time to think about music seriously instead of just having it as a hobby, having it as like a pastime I go to. And that was because of a very important friend that I met in army, right? It was my BMT mate. Okay. We are in BMT together. We were together for a period of time, right? During BMT, we made friends. I discovered that he had a passion for making videos. He had like really good ideas for writing scripts, videos and stuff. And I like music, so we tried to collaborate with ideas and everything. So there was one movie that he did, right? So he produced his own movie, and I had the opportunity of composing one song, which is currently the only song that I've composed my entire life, right? There was this one song that I composed for his film, and I think it received nice reviews, I would say. And that person right now has evolved to being one of the, I would say, the better, if not the best, movie producer or guy that runs the movies in Singapore for the Indian scene. And they are doing well as well. They are doing really good actually for their production company. The songs they write, the movies, the series that they create and everything. It has garnered a lot of reviews. Y'all might have known, y'all might have watched some of his productions as well. So my buddy from BMT, his name is Surya Velan. He's one of the people inside 360 Entertainment, and they are the brains behind Naam. Naam too, Stefan Zachariah. And I have the pleasure of knowing them back when they were in their infant stage. Right. And so to see them where they are now, that is another story of someone who has a dream and didn't give up, right? Even when everybody was saying that, this is not the way to go. But he did it, right? And he's reaping his rewards right now. So there's one person that I had the pleasure of knowing, and also looking at his path of success, and like, it's very interesting, right? Like, we are not alone. Right? I'm not alone in this industry. Right? There are also people, like-minded individuals who are also improving on their own, and it's just a really nice feeling. But that was the time, right? That was in army where I decided, it's time to focus on music seriously and do something about it. And army was 9 years ago, man? Wow. I think, right? And here we are right now.
9 years ago.
இல்ல பரவாயில்ல அங்கிள்ஸ் என்ன அங்கிள்ஸ் என்ன அங்கிள்ஸ் சொல்ல வரீங்க அங்கிள்ஸ்
He's not even 30 yet.
அதான் அங்கிள்ஸ்
நீங்க சொல்லுங்க
So uncle,
So basically, like, in NS you met your friend and all that, right? So I just wanted to touch on one thing, like like நிறைய பேர் சொல்லுவாங்க, they want to do this, they want to do that, right? And it's more like if it happens, it will be nice. A lot of people have that mentality. If it happens, it'll be nice. But in order to go from I'm here now to if it happens, it'll be nice, to change if it happens, it'll be nice, to I want to make it happen, or I have to make it happen, right? Only a few people have under a mindset. So was it a gradual process for you that you mentioned you realized in army onwards that you wanted to spend more time, put more effort into it, right? Was there a particular moment that like flipped the switch, or was it like a gradual process that you say that, I want to try this, take it? Was it like a short term check off the box on a few things, or is it like you on the switch and I need to get here and you're working away then?
So there was no actual goal in mind. okay, there was really no goal, right? The only thing that I did was I do love music.
Yeah.
I love performing it, and I enjoy my practice time when I'm at home, right? I think it goes to it's a very simple statement to make, okay? But if you are passionate about something, it can be anything. You know, it can be music, it can be like soccer, you know, it can be working out, it can be you're passionate about your girlfriend, your wife. Any passion that you have, you need to have the love for it. That's one. And you also need to have the dedication to put in the effort for it.
Yeah.
Right? Loving something but not putting the effort equals to failure.
Yes.
That is number one, right? Number one. It applies for anything. Music is also one part of it as well. For anybody out there, right? If you all love music, you know, you love performing, if you love like playing the piano, guitar, or playing the drums and all that, loving it is one thing. But having the dedication, having the effort to sit down and practice your craft, that will in turn make you a better musician and also make you a slightly better person, I would say, because you have that dedication to, you know, sit down and do something, you know, productive with your time. It's not something that a lot of people would want, because we are living in the fast world now. You know,
Sure.
We want to see results.
Yeah,
but
instant gratification.
correct, instant. The work which is put behind it, nobody wants to do that. Nobody, right? It's too tough. But if you do that work, then the answer to your question, which you asked, is there, right? And for me, it was when I was in army. Like I said, that flip, that switch, it flipped, and all I wanted to do was perform. Right, I didn't want to do it full time. Right, no, I just wanted to have it as a part of my life.
Right,
because I was doing something. I was already working at that point of time. Right, but I wanted to integrate music as a part of my life, and so I started doing shows. Right, it got small. I mean, it started off small, right, but it progressed, and because of that, progress, and it evolved into a lot more things, you know, a lot more opportunities, a lot more venues for things to happen, right? Because, I mean, if you're a lucky guy, maybe opportunity will find you at your doorstep. People like us, and why I would say people like us, because we are people who are just like y'all, you know. We are not born with a silver, gold spoon, nothing, you know.
We're just an everyday Joe.
Everyday Joe, right? Like my dad used to cycle me to school, that kind of everyday Joe, you know. We were from neighborhood schools. We had no great dreams in our life, you know. We took life as it is and put in our dedication towards what we individually loved. And the path just took us to where we are. The only thing was we didn't stop doing the effort part. Yeah, you can love anything for years, you know, but if you never put in the effort, like I said, it's not going to go anywhere. So I'm happy that I stuck to it, and I put in the effort. I still continue to put in the effort. Where it goes, what might happen out of it, I really have nothing to say or think about it. I'm enjoying the process that I'm in, right? Which is loving the craft and putting in the effort. That's
I just want to touch on that thing that you said, this exact last sentence that you said, and it ties into your main point also, like passion and work, they two must meet, right? So with regards to that, right, you said that not relenting about the work and not expecting the instant gratification is something that just goes over the head very often, because people want, our generation, right? It's not really even our generation. It's like a cultural thing now. If you do put in X amount of effort now, you want 2X rewards in like the next hour or something.
It's like crypto lah.
Because of like in the internet and the speed of everything, right? That's how fast we want things. But the best things, like they say, like they're saying, Rome wasn't built in a day. That's the saying, right? So like, it's refreshing to hear, because like you say, we are everyday people. Like number shows, so the four of us, where we had 4 people, those 2 are coming back in June, by the way. So the whole idea was 4 friends hanging out. That was the context of the show. We don't have like famous parents in the media industry to open doors for us. We don't have connections, all that. We have to build this ourselves. And that's where the majority of the population are also, right? They have... They'll be thinking, oh, I don't have connections, I don't have this, I don't know how to seek the opportunities. Advantage about now, for our time, right, number ஆரம்பிக்கும்போது, right, YouTube was just when we were in secondary school. I remember Elliot, like our classmate Elliot, he came and told me, hey bro, have you seen this on YouTube? I asked, bro, what's YouTube? I remember that. So now, when we were having that, Facebook just happened when we were exiting secondary school.
Correct.
So now it's completely different. Now everybody, like வளரும்போது, like kids in their strollers, they'll have the iPad in there, they're watching show in the iPad. So it's very different now. Opportunity, like information is available at the fingertips. You just need to know where to look. But even so, the one constant is the effort, the work and the effort that you must put, and it's refreshing to hear because, like, number shows, right, we are now in our third, going on to our fourth year soon, and the amount of work it requires. I mean, produce the show is one thing, but to amplify, like you said, you are doing your shows, like to promote it, to get sign up forms, and the thing you're doing of your own one or your own effort, like you're trying to cross reference data from sign ups to attendance and all that. That goes to show the amount of homework you have to do to build the product to actually get it to a certain point. So it's a யோசிச்சு யாருக்காவது like ஒரு goal இருந்தா just put your head down and work. Like for me, one of my idols, I mentioned on my previous episodes, is Arnold. The amount of work that he did in order to become like a bodybuilder and actor and all that, like, he worked the whole day, and the amount of effort that he put in does get documented, but people overlook it. Like people look at success, and for some reason people might either love you or hate you. There's no in between. Like they think you're successful, then they just disregard the amount of work that you put in. It's just hours and hours of work. So there's a certain level of respect to the work that you do and the effort that you put in lah. So like really heads off. I remember texting you a few years ago, like you had a performance and I couldn't turn up for one performance. I remember texting you way back. It is a true story, but I remember texting him that I think that people like you are needed in the society, and just continue doing it.
Okay, I remember seeing this. I can't remember whether it's Messenger or
WhatsApp
Messenger.
Very long ago.
I should have it, man. I should have it.
Yeah, because I remember, because at that time really, I already had that. Like you said, when performing, you enjoyed performing, right? And I also same thing. I was in the drama club, same as you. I enjoyed performing. I enjoyed, as much as I'm an introvert, I enjoy being on stage. I enjoyed the rush. அது ஒரு rush கிடைக்கும்
அந்த ஒரு kick.
Yeah. And as a person at that time, I actually contemplated going on as a stage performer after drama, but I didn't have the balls for it, honestly. I just chickened out and studied comps and all that.
To be very honest, right, I think it's never too late to start something.
Yeah. So but then like over time I learned like, actually it's not the acting itself that I enjoyed, it's the storytelling aspect, which is why the podcast is something that I was keen on after over time.
Okay.
So, like to tie into the point is that it's never too late, and always remember to work your ass off if you want to do it, and be patient with the results. Like in order to get from point A to point B, like it's not like a straight line. It's gonna be like dips. Like sometimes you go high, you think, oh, it's great, then it's gonna suck the next week. Then you have to work your way up again and figure it out lah. So just remember that and just keep your head down and put the work in. I want to touch on one point. You mentioned that you want to like SP la perform பண்ணிருக்க. You mentioned you perform in bars, clubs, etc. and like in front of like a Vasantham style. So now, like, when we were young, right, we look at concerts and all that. Sometimes we envision what if we were in a band, we were in stage and we were performing, what it will feel like. Having been in your shoes, right, on the stage in these various scenarios, right, what is it like as a performer, like when you're performing your music and you're seeing people enjoying?
Okay. For this, right, I think I need to quote one friend, a very good friend and a mentor of mine. His name is Andy Chong. So shout out to Andy. Andy is a very close friend. He's a member of this band that we are in together. It's called Motors. Together with a lot of my buddies and friends whom we perform together, whether it be for Vasantham or outside. So shout out to my buddies Vimal, Suresh, Dr. D, and Mr. Andy Chong, all of whom are from the same band. So I knew Andy for quite a long time already, and I think it was one of our first shows that we did together. And he told me something which I still remember until now. He said, when you're performing, when you're on stage and you are doing something, who are you doing it for? Are you doing it for yourself? Are you doing it for self-satisfaction? Is there something, missing in you that you are trying to feel? Or why, if that is the case, you are doing it for self-satisfaction, right? And when you are playing your instrument, because like, let's say when we are playing whatever instrument or when we are singing, there's a tendency to look down at our instrument, right?
Okay.
Like, let's say you're playing the piano like this, and then you're looking
right.
at your hands. So you're playing the guitar and you're looking at your fingers, There's always a tendency to do that. So my buddy said, how about you stop and you lift your head up just by a few degrees and you'll see the people who are there for you, right? You are performing to these people. You're not performing to yourself. Right? Whoever who appears at the stage or whoever who appears at whatever that you do, these are the people that you are performing for. Right? Your all your hours of work and everything, right?
Right.
It's not for you to feel great that you accomplish something. It's not, right? That's how I feel, my personal opinion. It is for the people or for your fans, your friends, whomever is there to come and see what you have done. That is what you're performing for. And the adrenaline, the rush that you get from being on stage, it varies gig to gig, I would say. It really varies gig to gig. Maybe we do an intimate one, right? Whereby it's just like, like candlelight, just me and somebody else and like a few people there. Intimate. Then after that, you do something in a club, like 5-6 people on stage, and then we're all jumping around. And shout out to the bands also, Dr. D, Collective, Veritas. These bands are a few in Singapore, a few Tamil bands in Singapore. When we perform, we give like nobody's business, right? Nobody is standing still, like just moving left to right. When we perform, we jump, we give our life and soul. By the time we exit stage, we need to be sweating. That's how you know there is a performance worthy. That one is adrenaline rush to the max, right? Because the crowd in front of you are also enjoying with you, and then we are feeding off their energy, they are feeding off our energy, right? It's a constant thing, it's like just exchange of energy. So the adrenaline changes for whichever situation that you are in, but I think at all points of time, the important people are the ones who are down there, the ones who are sitting, standing, supporting you. Yeah, these are the people that you do it for. And these are the people who will give you your strength, your encouragement when you're on stage. If you are on stage and you're feeling like panicky, if you're a person who's susceptible to panic attacks, all you need to do is just look at the stage and focus on someone prominent over there, right? If it's your friend, your parents, wow, that will help greatly, right? And your energy comes from it. If you look around at stage and then you see your buddies all together having fun, okay, that gives you a certain energy, and then you just feed off it. So
Okay. Nice. Like you mentioned, funny thing they mentioned. I saw you at a wedding.
Yes.
Orchid Country Club one.
Orchid Country Club. Yes.
So, Isuran live.
Of course.
So I think he was mentioning that when you were performing that day. So then we were performing, Isuran actually brought up the point that when he playing, he doesn't need to look at the instrument. I said, bro, he pro already, bro. No, like if you tell this to me, if I was playing an instrument, I will be shit. Am I doing the right thing or this? So like in order to get to that level of comfort, I would say, to focus on, to be in the moment. Like like if you're performing, right? Let's say you're performing at an event, it's work, right? You're paid to do a job there. So to switch from the mindset of job to performer, right? Was it like a natural thing for you, or did it come with time?
I would say it came with time.
Okay.
Right, it came with time. But because like there was a lot of practice time which went in when I was younger. Right. So there was really a lot of practice time, and like back then I used to be in church as well, right? So I was playing in church every week. So all that was, I would say, like a very good practice session to develop your skills as a performer. One thing was that like when you do something so many times, right? After a while, it becomes muscle memory.
Right.
Becomes muscle memory.
Okay.
Right? Like things like, peripheral vision, like you don't need to be looking at something to be enjoying it, right? And everything becomes muscle memory so much that now when I perform, I don't usually look at what I'm pressing, because like I'll be either staring in space, I'll be enjoying time, because like I'm visualizing something else.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, so for me, I figured that I, like right now, if I look at the thing and I play, it will throw me off.
Oh, okay.
I have to look away and like have it visualized, like, okay, so my hand is pressing something, but then like in my mind, I'm like, okay, so that's what I'm pressing. Then the next thing I'm pressing, the next thing I'm pressing. Okay, so like,
let's type ahead.
yes,
Okay.
yeah. So, and that was, it came after time, right?
Okay.
It's not something that is immediate. The more you practice something, muscle memory.
Feel it.
Yeah, you feel
other feeling. You can't. You know how I can associate this or not? Football. Okay. When I play football, right? No. When I used to run, right? My friend used to tell me this. When you're doing like skills or whatever, like, this is before my knee injury. But what he told me was, when he does skills, right, he doesn't look down and see where the ball is. He doesn't look where the ball is. He looks at the other player. What's his movement going to be? He feels that and he goes. That's the same thing. Like I can associate, the closest thing I can associate to what music is in that sense, and the performances in that sense, right?
That's correct. Yeah. Playmaking.
For me, the most similar comparison I make is WWE. So the wrestlers, right? Like a lot of documentaries I watch, especially the older wrestlers who are like experienced, right? They always tell the younger guys, when you go there, stop and take it all in. I've heard this multiple times. They always say stop and take it all in. Go like WrestleMania, they have the big events, right? So they stand, look at the audience, just absorb it. Because the common things that I've heard from all performers is that after they retire, right, they say it all just went by so quickly. So I heard that comment. So whenever all the veterans and the advice all the newbies, they say always stop and take it all in. And especially for the live performance, like for those who don't know about the wrestling, all that, it's like basically they play off crowd reactions. Like that's how they know whether something is working or not. I think very similar for bands also. I think like based on the documentaries I've seen, song choices, all that, they go by how the crowd reacts to certain things. But they have a set list lah. So the thing is, like, if the crowd is energetic, they know how to play with the crowd's energy. They know how to orchestrate. And there's a certain science that goes into which song they start with, which song they end with, what goes in between, so that you can manage the crowd's energy. Like a lot of things I know is like they always say like you start high and you end high. And you don't put all the high things at the start and then you don't put all the low things at the end, because then the crowd dies off, right?
Correct.
So like there's a scientific approach to it. When you're on stage or when you're performing, right, how is it like if let's say in a larger crowd context, right, like in a club or whatever, where it's higher energy, right? How is it something as abstract as this question is going to be, right? Is it something that the energy, is it something that you feel like you like can touch, or is it something like it's just a sense?
Okay, because wait. So this question, right? Very nice, but I think a very easy way to understand or explain this question, right, is to use the examples that you all have said so far. You have used football and you have used wrestling, right? Very easy way to explain how this is. When you watch a football match, when you watch a wrestling match, right? Like let's say we have Champions League or World Cup, right? Either one. Okay, so let's say we have the World Cup and then we have WrestleMania. Okay, World Cup, something that everybody looks forward to. Or something that I would like to look forward to is the part that they are all standing in the line singing their national anthem. Wow, fantastic. Then they go around shaking hands. Okay, get onto the pitch and kick off, and then that's where the fun starts. In between their goals, right? Then usually penalties or whatsoever, but everybody's looking for the end whistle.
Right.
no, whatever skill that is like, okay, let's say we watch the previous World Cup. Who did this skill? I don't think anybody remembers.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Right? Who did a step over? Who did this one? Nobody remembers. Who won it? You remember.
Maybe, yeah.
Right. Who was the first and third? Or first and second? You remember. Right? How did they win? Was it a penalty? Was it this one? A fan would remember. Right? Same for wrestling. Right. Let's say it's a WrestleMania main event, right? Between this person and that person. Every time someone comes out in WrestleMania, it's maximized. You know, like I think there was once where John Cena came out and there was like 100 John Cenas. Right? And there was once where Undertaker came out and there was also a lot of like druids, you know, walking down the entrances. You know, people know the entrances, right? And then they get on the stage and then they do their show. Whether or not Undertaker does snake eyes, you know, or whether he does like a leg drop or something, we know he's going to do that, right? Yeah. But whether is he going to win the match, right? When he fought with Brock Lesnar, is he going to win the match? Is he not going to win the match? We never knew until the end. When Brock hit the 3-2-1, and then he won. That match we remember, right? That match we remember.
Yeah.
The walk-ins, we remember. Right?
Yeah.
Whatever moves we do inside, how many F5s did Lesnar did? Do you remember? No, you don't remember. He did a F5, that one we know. Yeah, correct. You won't know, right? The start, the end, right? For anything is important. Use the same context. Come in a club, right? The first note we play, bang, the first song, it gets the attention of the audience. Throughout what happens throughout? Yeah, they are there, they are enjoying. Do they remember what's happening? No, they don't remember. The end song, the one to end it off, has to be the bangers of the bang.
Right.
So they come there, they remember what is the start. Okay, you know, we started with this. What did we end it? Oh my God, you know, it's this song. I love this song. It's such a good bang. It's such a good end to end off. What happens in the middle? Nobody cares. Right? They're just feeling the moment. Nobody cares. What you end with, that's amazing. That's one way to explain it, I would say.
Psychology.
So what makes it memorable is actually what happened at the end, not what happens in between. Yeah,
I've heard this because I listened to other podcasts also. They say this exact same thing. It's like the way they broke down the psychology, right, is that the start sets the tone for the rest of the night. The rest of the night, people will enjoy based on the tone that you set. You match the energy and all that. But on the middle section kapron, it's a build up to that last song. That's what I've heard. True?
Yeah, it's true. There is a okay, so like from doing a lot of concerts and shows and stuff, right? There's actually a curve, right? We all study science before. You know what's a tangent curve, you know, sine curve, cosine curve. Okay.
இல்ல சார் நான் சயின்ஸ் ஒரே ஒரு சாப்டர் தான் பாஸ் பண்ணேன். அது மத்ததெல்லாம் ஃபெயில்.
Okay, very simply, curve வந்து இப்படி இருக்கும். இல்லனா இப்படி இருக்கும். Okay, right? இப்படி இருந்துச்சுனா then you close up and go already. So like you start here. Okay, you go to let's go to the peak.
Right.
Okay, the next, let's say the next one, you go to the peak. Okay, too much energy already. No fellow will be jumping around for like 3 hours, right? Okay, bring it down. Like chill a bit, you know, let them rest. And this all depends on the setting that we are looking at, right? So what I'm mentioning now is a club setting. How it is in a club. We start here. Next one, bring it up here, blast it. Okay, next one, we go even higher, blast it. Okay, next one, come, chill down. You know, everybody, just relax. Go back to your seats, you know, grab a few drinks here and there. Relax, you know, just listen to the songs that you like to hear, sing along with us, okay? Then once you all refill your drinks already, you feel like, okay, you know, feel like dancing some more. Okay, bring up the energy. Bring up the energy. Bring up the energy until it's time to end it.
The crescendo.
With the crescendo.
Right.
So this is a possible curve. right? I think this is called a sine curve lah. I might be wrong. Science students, மன்னிச்சிடுங்க.
ஒரு wave
ஒரு wave.
அவ்வளவுதான்.
audio engineer wave form னு வெச்சுக்கோ.
கப்னு வச்சிருவோம்.
இப்படி போகும். Okay.
வளைஞ்சு போவோம். அவ்வளவுதான்.
That is one way. Another way is you start here, right? And then the entire event, okay, you start with a bang. So now this one is a different setting, right? This is maybe like a sit down that you have with like your fans or friends who are sitting down and watching with you. You start here, okay, you know, you chill, bring it down, bring it mellow, okay, come to the middle. Then from here, okay, bring it up again, bring it up to the end. That way, like anything that anyone or any show that anybody goes for, you would remember the end song and you remember how they start the program, right? The in between is the icing on the cake,
Right.
It's the icing on the cake. How you start important, how you end very important. Anything which happens in the middle, icing.
It's very similar to நம்ம ஸ்கூல்ல படிச்சது. if கட்டுரை எழுதும்போது say introduction, conclusion.
Wow.
ரொம்ப முக்கியம்.
Yeah.
It's the same, right?
Correct.
They always say the first line you start very well, the end of also is very good, the rest is okay.
I only remember one thing. I used to start off or something. பசுத்தர் ஐயோ வாயில வரல. சரி என்னமோ ஒரு மரத்தாணின்னு வரும். பட் எனிவேஸ் மரம் ஆணியை போல் பதிந்தது என் மனதில்.
ஆணி தரமாக பதிந்தது.
இல்ல பசுமரத்தாணியை போல் என் மனதில். சாரி தமிழ் டீச்சர் மிஸ் லோகா, ஷவுட் அவுட் யூ. இல்ல நல்லா சொல்லி கொடுத்தீங்க, எனக்கு இப்ப ஞாபகம் இல்ல.
டச் பண்ண
நம்ம வெளியே தான் இருந்தோம் usually.
Okay, but you know,
absolutely right. For Tamil class Sec 1 Sec 2 நான் தான் முதல்ல வெளியே போவேன். Sec 1 Sec 2
very good.
Sec 3 Sec 4 he and I will be amongst the last one. நாங்க போய் ஃபுட்பால் விளையாடுவோம் பக்கத்து ரூம்ல.
When we went to Sec 3 and Sec 4 we don't get asked to go out. Then
self voluntary
because the opposite classroom empty ஆ இருக்கும்.
Right.
So all the guys start off with two fellas.
Okay.
Start off with two fellas, then the next three will go, then the last three will go.
So தமிழ் கிளாஸ் இல்ல, பக்கத்து கிளாஸ்ல. அதானே
நம்ம ஒரு பேட் எக்ஸாம்பிள் செட் பண்ணிக்கிறோம். இந்த மாதிரி இருந்துராதீங்க. Luckily our audience is the 20s to 40s da.
Actually anyways,
topic.
Yes. So you know, இவ்வளோ நேரம் நீங்கள் வந்து நம்ம கூட டாபிக் ஷேர் பண்ணிக்கிட்டீங்க. இன்னும் wrapping this up, right? Let's talk about, முதல்ல நீங்கள் வந்து உங்கள் ஷோ பற்றி பேசுனீங்க. We went into your, we turn back time, you know, we're talking about your younger days. Let's talk about the future, right? இப்போ வந்து it's going to be a very generic, I won't say it's a generic question, it's going to be a very open-ended question. For musicians in Singapore, especially Indian musicians in Singapore, future வந்து இருக்கா இல்லையா? Like what do you see there is, because நீங்க சொன்னீங்க and lesser and lesser, but are there opportunities?
Okay, for future musicians in Singapore.
Yeah.
Okay, so one thing I would say, for all the musicians that I know, or the performers that I've come across working with in the industry right now, some of them have passed on, some of them are still present and they are continuing to, you know, do well and all, right? Nobody or none that I can think of started straight away as a star, right? They all came from somewhere, right? They all put in their dues to be what they are today. And this is also coming from a time whereby music or arts was not really accepted in the industry. I mean, in your own household, household, right? There again, touching on that stigma thing, you know, don't do it, right? Safer not to, right? Just carry on with your life. Safer not to enter anything which is arts based. Certain people did it, right? May it be in the Singapore scene, may it be in the English, the Chinese, the Malays, or the Indians, right? Everybody have something to say. And none of them started like a superstar, or maybe I can't remember, but for the Tamil scene, what I do remember is everybody came on their own strength. It wasn't என் அப்பா வந்து இவரு அம்மா வந்து இவங்க. It was not that, right? They came in their own 2 legs, their own 2 feet. They stood and then they did their things, and now they're being recognized for it. Not okay. So one thing that I would say is there are people or there are artists who have put in the effort, but after a time of seeing that, okay lah, இது நமக்கு வந்து இல்ல,
set out,
and then they just take it out and carry on with their life. Like maybe they do better in their work, or maybe they do better in their family time and everything. Those who remain are people who have stuck to it, right? Because really the thing about music is once you start it, right, there's only 2 ways that you can go, right? Either you're going to get better at it, or you're going to lose interest with it, right? I'm not going to say success or failure. I'm just going to say either you're going to get better, or you will lose interest.
Okay.
Right? So which way is dependent on the person. Right? You can be successful all the way. You can be putting in the amount of practice time and everything, but nothing seems to come your way. That means like எதுக்கு? Why are we doing this? But I would say from personal experience, and also from looking at the scene as it is, right? Anyone who has done this path, which is the put in the effort part, they would eventually figure out what they want to do as a musician. Right? It's not like I put in my effort, I love my music, I'm just going to sit down at home and wait for somebody to call me.
Wait for the opportunity.
I'm just going to wait for the opportunity. No. Same like I would say same like y'all. Y'all had a passion for it. You all never sit at home, right? There wasn't a sitting at home and okay, maybe somebody might call me to do a podcast someday. No, y'all did your own thing, and then this is where y'all are, right? If y'all had done the okay, it's not going to go anywhere. I'm going to sit down at home and work on my life. If y'all had chose that, this episode wouldn't have been possible.
Yeah, true.
Right? So it's only there's only 2 ways to go, right? It's either you do something about it, or you do nothing about it.
Yeah.
Right? Do something or do nothing. Which way you want to go is up to you. If you think that opportunities won't come, you are wrong. Right? If there are 0 opportunities, right, then create your own opportunity. Right? It's very easy, and especially nowadays, it's very easy. All you need is one computer, one handphone, maybe, to record yourself, and like basic understanding of what the handphone will do and what the computer will do. Right? That's about it. Anybody can be an artist. Back then, different lah. Back then, we don't even have things like laptop or.
Well, back then our phone cameras were...
We playing solitaire, bro.
Back then I don't even dare on my data. I don't dare.
Now, last time 3G was slowly... GPRS.
3G only appeared when we were in poly, bro.
Yeah. GPRS, right?
GPRS. Yeah, I think so, bro.
அந்த அளவுக்குலாம் போக வேணாம். வயசு அடிச்சு தெரியும், ஆனா அந்த அளவுக்கு போக வேணாம்.
What to do?
But you mentioned a very interesting point, the opportunity. The opportunity நீங்க கிடைக்கலன்னு நீங்க சொல்லக்கூடாது, அதை உருவாக்குங்க. அந்த மாதிரி தான் நீங்க ஷோ உருவாக்குனீங்க. And I think budding musicians, anyone who are interested in music and who are willing to put yourself out there, I think you are a great inspiration for that, to actually see that, hey, I'm creating my opportunity, let's just jam in that sense, right? So I think like kudos to that. Like I respect that. I honestly respect that.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, man. The whole point is that because in mainstream media, right, success is glorified, but the work that the people behind the people who are successful do, right, is not as glorified.
That's true.
Yeah.
So we need to shed more light on the work that people do in order to get where they are. So just one final message. If there's any aspiring musician in Singapore, what would your message be to them?
Aspiring musicians. Okay. Yes, music is an art form. All right. You gotta love it. You gotta put in your time to do it. But I would also say that, especially now for Singapore, our standing, on like music and where it can lead to, right? Loving something and having the dedication for something will only bring you maybe a step, right? A step. There are various aspects to music that someone can do. Either you're going to be a performer, you want to be a teacher, you want to do events in schools, or you want to be a YouTube star, you want to be someone who solos, go for concert and people are screaming your name, right? There are so many avenues to choose from music. I would say that study first, right? Take your time to study either trends or study music in a sense, right? Go for the theory part of it, because I would say that it's very easy to take up a guitar and play a guitar. Right? It's kind of simple, right? It's very easy to take like a drum, right, or a table and beat the table, right? Very simple. But let's say you want to progress, let's say you're looking at music as a career. Consider the option of doing everything, right? Not just one thing, but doing everything. So, you will also have the theory knowledge when you go and study for your, let's say you go and take your exams, your certificates and everything. It will help in the future if you are thinking of doing music full time, right? Opening maybe your own company, that's nice. Branding yourself as a solo artist, that's great. Becoming a teacher, a music, or becoming an institution to learn, great. Everything can be done, but always ensure that you have the paper to back it up. Should anyone come and question you, right? And some things you can do on your own, right? Some things you can do on your own, but always have a group of friends surrounding you, maybe family, maybe friends, as a support group to either push you forward in your journey, who can be together with you in your journey, and just to have that support factor, right? You can do everything on your own, no doubt about it, right? But someone else might have an idea on how to market. Someone else might have an idea on maybe content creation is important. Okay, maybe I need to go and check on the rules and regulations. Maybe someone is good at that. Write-ups, let's say you are looking for grants and stuff. Maybe someone is better proficient at writing something. Right? You have friends like this who are able to cover the aspects that you lack at. It's always a group effort, right? So if you are single, like for example, you're a single musician in Singapore, right? Let's put out any name that you can think of. He or she does not appear on their own.
Right.
They might appear on stage and you are looking at them, yes. Behind them, there's like a ton of people who's working, right? There's a ton of people who are doing their jobs to make them, to push them forward. So, to be successful is not just your effort alone. It's your team's effort. Your friends, always have like really good friends supporting you, you will find friends in anywhere, really anywhere. There are friends who will secretly try to pull you down, nandukada, all that stuff. There are friends who will try to push you up, and use your talents or use your expertise to their gain as well. And these are really good people to have around you. Surround yourself with positivity, I would say. Music is all just about being positive. It's about loving, right? The emotions you put in your instruments, the emotions you provide outside. It's all about loving. And I would say that if the vibe is positive, the people around you is positive, then just go wherever positivity takes you.
That was good, man. That's very real advice.
It's actually no, not only a very real advice, a very much needed advice in current times. Actually, it's ஸோ நிலேஷ், இவ்வளோ நேரம் நீங்கள் வந்து நேரம் ஒதுக்கி நம்ம கூட பகிர்ந்த இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் நம்ம கூட பகிர்ந்ததுக்கு ரொம்ப ரொம்ப நன்றி. உங்களை பற்றி நேயர்கள் உங்களை பற்றி கான்டாக்ட் பண்ணணும், இன்ஸ்பயர் மியூசிஷியன்ஸ் ரீச் அவுட் டு யூ aspiring musicians, எப்படி உங்ககிட்ட ரீச் அவுட் பண்ணலாம், எப்படி உங்களை கான்டாக்ட் பண்ணலாம்?
Okay, I think the easiest is like our social media platforms, right? I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and the usual stuff, right? My name is Nathanael Nilesh. So anyone who wants to reach out, anyone who wants to know more about music, and if you all have ideas and stuff, just find me online. For all the upcoming shows, the concerts, the events, and everything, it's all online as well. It's all on social media. So there are few pages that we have. Mainly Infinity Band, 2023. Yeah, that's our handle. TikTok. Yeah, it'll come soon. It'll come soon, right? We gotta figure out how to use TikTok first. I don't have an account myself.
That's people give you a lot of comments.
நல்ல comments.
வரோம்
ஒரு தடவை ஒரு வீடியோ போட்டேன், went overseas and somebody thought I was a Scottish person. For some reason ஒரு comment அடிச்சு, நீ என்ன பெரிய ஐஸ்வர்யா.
இல்ல அதை பார்த்து மேபி ஒருத்தர் சில பேர் கோரம் இதெல்லாம் பார்த்துட்டு சிரிச்சுக்கிட்டு இருந்தேன். டேய் ஐசு,
TikTok.
It's fun.
So thanks for tuning into the show this week. If you have been in touch with our socials, thank you for your support, and thank you for your support for over the years so far. And over the past few months, the episodes that we're putting out in video format on Spotify, YouTube, and all that. So thank you for tuning in, and thank you for your support. We're also now, as I'm mentioning, over the past few weeks, நம்ம social media ரொம்ப active-ஆ இருக்கோம், particularly TikTok. So stay tuned on our socials. We are posting content every day there. And ஏதாவது messages இருந்தா TikTokல அனுப்புங்க. We reply to almost every comment. Positive, negative, whatever, just keep it coming. We can have a conversation. If in the episode கேட்டுட்டு you all had your thoughts, any feedback, or anybody got any questions for Nilesh or any other feedback in general, please let us know, and we'll feel free to connect you guys.
And if any ladies want to contact you, please, you all know where to find his handles. Bye.